The legend of Muhammad Ali is known across the entire world. He has been dubbed one of the greatest athletes of all time, winning boxing championships and acting as a political force to be reckoned with since the early 1960s. As we lay to rest one of the world's finest sportsmen, here are 10 amazing facts about his talent, both inside and out of the ring. At the young age of 12 years old, Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, had his bike stolen from him in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. He reported the theft to a local police officer and warned the officer that he would pummel the thief once he was found. The officer, a man named Joe Martin, decided to teach Clay how to box. Within the coming weeks, Clay became a natural boxer and determined that he would pursue the sport as a full-time career. His bike was never recovered. Cassius Clay was named after a famous white anti-slavery abolitionist. The two would go on to share multiple similarities, despite Clay eventually changing his name. The original Cassius Clay served under President Lincoln and edited a popular anti-slavery newspaper that distributed its contents to the South. He was often cursed and attacked by those who supported Confederate ideologies and suffered multiple stab wounds and gunshots in his time, actively facing the bigotry mirrored in Muhammad Ali's later life. The original Cassius Clay died at the age of 92. Before changing his name to Muhammad, the boxer first adopted the title of Cassius X. Muhammad Ali's form of training was rigorous and bizarre. His oddest means of training involved his younger brother throwing rocks at him as hard and fast as he could. Ali studied his brother's arm movements and eventually learned to predict when and where the boy's hands would move. He became so good at dodging rocks that it frustrated his brother. The training helped enormously, however, as Ali could go on long spans of time in the ring without ever receiving a single hit. In one amazing display of his athletic talent, he dodged 21 punches in a span of 10 seconds, all while backed against the ropes. Float like a butterfly indeed. In 1963, Ali attempted his hand at music and poetry, releasing an album aptly titled I Am the Greatest, and featuring a cover of the infamous song Stand By Me by Ben E. King. Ali would also write poetry, and even rap his responses to questions asked by fans. Despite the genre not having yet been invented, he also had an incredibly short acting career, featuring a stint on Broadway in the show Buck White, though the show closed after a mere 5 days. While it's odd to think of the world's greatest boxer as a man with any fears, it's true that Ali began his career petrified of flying. As he flew to international venues, Ali was provided a parachute that he never took off while in the air. The parachute was never needed, however, as Ali was never involved in any plane crashes. It is unclear if he ever got over his fear of flying. One of the most famous stories about Muhammad Ali comes after his return to his home state of Kentucky. After winning the Olympic gold medal for boxing, he entered a restaurant that rejected his service due to not serving African Americans. The waiter is reported to have said, "Sorry, we don't serve Negroes," to which Ali responded, "Well, that's okay. I don't eat them either." Ali claims this event was enough for him to walk over to the Ohio River and toss the medal into the water. This part of the story is still in some dispute, as some historians believe he may have just lost it. Ali was not shy about his conversion to Islam and his friendship with civil rights leader Malcolm X. It was this religious change of heart that prompted him to reject the U.S. military draft during the war with Vietnam. Ali was escorted peacefully to prison, where he was indicted to serve 5 years minimum for draft dodging. However, he never spent his sentence in jail, as his case was under constant means of appeal. He paid the $10,000 fine but was banned from the sport of boxing for 3 years. He finally returned with a renewed license in 1970, and 1 year later, the Supreme Court freed him of his previous conviction of draft dodging. In 1974, Ali faced off with then undefeated champion George Foreman. They battled in the country of Zaire for paychecks reported up to $5 million. Ali wanted American audiences to be able to watch the match live, but this proved to be a problem due to the time difference over the Atlantic. To solve this, Ali and Foreman boxed at around 4 a.m. in Africa, so American viewers could watch at a decent time. Ali defeated Foreman, stripping him of his undefeated status and regained his heavyweight title. One of Ali's greatest celebrity enemies, though, was Frank Sinatra, who was keen to see Ali lose during the 1971 fight of the century against Joe Frazier. However, tickets to the match were in such high demand that Sinatra had to take drastic action just to see the fight. He took a guest photography position with Life magazine and was hired to cover the fight. Sinatra's photos ended up not only in the magazine but on the front. Frazier won the famous battle. However, one of Ali's greatest endeavors was by far his involvement in getting Saddam Hussein to release 15 American hostages in 1990. As the Gulf War was just getting underway, Ali traveled to Iraq, where he debated and negotiated the release of the American hostages. Ali succeeded in bringing all of them back to the United States. Despite this, then-President George H.W. Bush was adamant the move was dangerous and only functioned as propaganda that served Iraq and harmed the international opinion of the United States. To those 15 men, however, it was clear that Muhammad Ali was not just a world-famous boxer. He was a hero of the most personal nature.